Welcome back to another episode of FNL Fridays. My name is Teresa and I am here to teach you all things fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle. Today we are back in the kitchen and we are making seitan. Another name for seitan is wheat meat because it is made from vital wheat gluten. Wheat gluten is made from the protein that's found in the wheat berry. If you have a gluten allergy or intolerance, this is definitely not the food for you. But if you are somebody who's looking to find a meat alternative, like I am, then this is something that you can make. There are plenty of options out there at the grocery stores of pre-made seitan, but personally, I actually really like to make my own just because I can control what goes into it, and also I can flavor it exactly how I like. And I can cut back on the sodium because generally anything packaged is going to have pretty high sodium. And I try to keep my sodium pretty limited, so this is just one way that I can do that. If you want to try making your own seitan, it's probably going to take you about an hour if you follow the recipe that I'm giving you. Most of that is just boiling the seitan. It's not actually making it. It only takes like 5 minutes to make it, but you have to leave it in boiling water for probably about 45 to an hour. There's only a few ingredients that you need for making your own seitan. So the first one, of course, is the vital wheat gluten. I buy this one on Amazon. It's the best price that I've found, and it's also just very, very simple. There's no added ingredients, anything like that. So the brand is Anthony's, and like I said, I get this on Amazon. This is a 4-pound bag, and this lasts me probably 2 or 3 months if I'm making seitan once a week. I use white rice flour. Now, you could use other types of flours. I've tried chickpea flour. I did not like how that turned out at all. I've also tried flaxseed meal with terrible results. So this has given me the best taste and texture for making seitan. So this is what I use. And I bought this at Sprouts, so you could probably find this at any health food store or probably online as well. You're also going to need red cooking wine, which you can find at any grocery store, and liquid aminos or soy sauce. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to boil 6 cups of water. So you have to put that on the stove, get that boiling, and then while that's boiling, we're going to make our seitan mix. This is what vital wheat gluten looks like. So you can see it's just a very, very fine, light colored powder. I'm going to do 2 cups of the wheat gluten into my bowl. Then you're going to do just a half a cup of the white rice flour. Once you've added your white rice flour to your wheat gluten, you're just going to mix, and be careful because it is really soft powder, so if you mix too fast, it will explode in your face. Just try to make sure everything's thoroughly mixed because as soon as you add water, it's going to get really sticky really fast. So you want to make sure that everything is mixed together well, otherwise it's going to be harder to mix it in after. Next, you're going to slowly add 1 3/4 cup of water into your mixture. You definitely don't want to pour it all in at once. I like to pour about a cup of it and then 3/4 cup of it afterwards so I can mix it first. And like I said, this is going to get thick and sticky very quickly. So you can see how I'm mixing this. I'm not really mixing it in a circle like this. I like to try to bring in the edges and get everything as wet as I can. And it's already starting to get clumpy and kind of flaky almost, but again, it's sticky. Very gently, keep mixing, and then just add in the rest of your water. At this point, I start using my hands because it's just a lot easier to mix with your hands than a fork. This is a faux pas, wearing my ring while I do this, so if you're wearing any rings, you should probably take them off because otherwise you're going to get a lot of stuff stuck in there. So I'm kind of kneading this like Play-Doh or like clay. There's still some dry spots in here, so I try to like kind of fold it over on itself as if I was kneading bread. Once it's all wet and mixed together, it's really not that sticky anymore. So now it's safe to use both hands if you're wearing a ring. So what I do is I just keep folding it under on itself and just try to make sure everything is mixed together. I don't know what I would say this looks like, but this is what it looks like. It's very squishy and soft and almost rubbery. While this is sitting, I'm going to add the other liquid ingredients to my boiling water. You should already have 6 cups of water boiling in a big pot on the stove. So now I'm just going to add about a 1/4 cup of my liquid aminos or soy sauce, then a 1/2 cup of your red cooking wine. I'm going to pour this mixture into the boiling water, and right after I do that, I'm also going to add about a teaspoon or 1/2 tablespoon of thyme, a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. Once you've added the liquid, the thyme, the garlic, the onion, and pepper to your boiling water, just give it a nice little mix. Make sure that everything's all mixed in together, and then you're going to take your giant lump of seitan and gently put it into the hot water. I like to just put it in one whole piece, but if you want to, you can absolutely cut this up into halves or quarters or strips, whatever you want to try. If you do cut it up, it will probably cook faster. But if you put it all in like this, it's probably about an hour that you're going to have to let it boil or simmer with the lid off. This is what it's going to look like when you put it into the boiling water. Like I mentioned, I like to keep the lid off so that the moisture cooks out of the seitan, but if you want it to be a little softer, you can try leaving the lid on. I just let that simmer for about an hour, and once it's done, the water level is going to be a lot lower, so make sure that you don't cook it until there's no water. Then you've probably overcooked it. So there should still be some liquid left. And once it's done, you just take it out, let it cool, and then you can cut it very easily. If you cook it all in one big piece like I do, the center is going to just be a little bit gooier than the outsides. The outsides are a little more meat-like. They're more tough almost. But the inside, it's just going to be softer. So that's another reason you might want to try cutting it in half or into slices. When your seitan is finished, it's going to look something like this if you followed my recipe. So you can see it does actually kind of look like meat, and it is definitely dense. It's a little bit heavier. This is just maybe a 1/4 of what that amount will make. So this is like 2 servings right here. So it's a good amount. It should last you throughout the week. And I like to just put it on salads or put it in sandwiches. Pretty much anywhere you would use meat, you can use seitan. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please give it a like, feel free to share it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any new videos out every Friday. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.